Tales of the Legion Project podcast, a special Legion Bulletin. Hey everyone, welcome to the 19th Tales of the Legion Project podcast, a special Bulletin episode, a surprise episode. I'm Peter from the Daily Rios.
And I am Eric, very excited Eric, from Longbox Review.
And if you were online today, Thursday, June 18th, you know why we're doing this episode. If you're a Legion fan and you were online Thursday, June 18th, you know why we were doing this episode. This was Eric's idea. This was Eric's producing.
So I was on my phone this morning, Peter, and I see this article. I think I was checking Blue Sky or something, and I see this and I open it up. I'm just starting to read, and then I immediately switched over to text you. When I get a text from Peter saying, "Have you seen the article?" So it was this has to be special. It was serendipitous that we were both thinking of this or seeing this around the same time. And I'm like, God, we gotta get together and talk about this. And there's so much to talk about, more than just hey, it's a new Legion comic. Well, we've known that for months.
Right.
So now we've actually gotten an advanced solicitation for Legion of Superheroes #1, 2026. And there's just things to talk about.
Right. Eric and I haven't talked yet. We don't know our reactions. This is hours later, and we're here recording. And as you mentioned, so the announcement went out not only with Legion of Superheroes, but the more information about Teen Titans, which we knew was coming, more information about Doom Patrol. In fact, probably like Teen Titans, we kind of knew a little bit more than Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is like, this is like all new information for Doom Patrol. We knew a Doom Patrol title was coming, but no creative team was announced or anything like that. So now that, as you mentioned, we have all this information. The new Legion book is coming out September 2nd, which means it will be in next month's previews.
Yes.
And this episode is going to be one of those types of episodes that I actually don't like. You know, like when a new trailer drops and people on YouTube do an hour, 2-hour long episodes on like a 30-second trailer, and they speculate and they act like they know everything about the movie now. And that's exactly, listeners, you're just going to have to deal with it, because this is going to be an insane ranting of a longtime Legion fan based on an article about 15 images based on Joshua Williamson's Twitter account. And I'm gonna, we're gonna have our conversation, and I'm gonna have my thoughts. I'm gonna put it all together and go, this is probably what it's gonna be, and it's gonna just, infuriate me even more. So we'll see.
Ooh,
we'll see.
Okay.
So it's exactly so. You are forewarned, listeners. Don't listen to us, because you're either gonna yell at the episode at your podcast catcher, or just join along with us. Like we're at a store and we're just trying to figure out what this is going to be.
Yeah.
That was my like initial reaction, was like, oh no. So what was yours?
Wait, about the announcement or about us getting on mic to
talk about the announcement, like just all of it put together just made my head explode, because I was like, no, oh God, no, like, well, we'll get into it.
Okay. So my initial reaction was, well, I mean, once I get past just the excitement of a new Legion title again, finally, I read through because I saw the article on Comics Beat, or the Beat, or whatever it's called. I know, no, I know. Well, I will say, yesterday, Joshua Williamson on Blue Sky, because I'm not on Twitter anymore. He was teasing some images,
Oh, huge.
and his what do you call the icon that you use for your
The
account icon maybe
avatar or something.
avatar, yeah, yeah, is a different looking Legion logo, and so I was like, oh, what? Ooh, we must be getting something really soon. Well, yeah, we got it the next day. And so I read through the article and I'm like, so that's what they're doing. Okay. And now that I have seen the tweets on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is from Joshua Williamson that Peter very nicely provided, which I read those 5 minutes ago. So
Yeah.
um, okay. This is not what I was hoping for or expecting. Well, I guess that's not true. I was kind of expecting this possible take, and I'm really using broad strokes here because we don't know exactly what it is. But
Right.
based on what he said in his posts, they're going back to the beginning.
Yes, they
And
are.
yeah, I guess I'm not. This is where people are going, God damn you guys, why are you doing this? The excitement kind of went out the window, but in a sense, but I'm still intrigued by what details, more or less, we have been given.
Yeah. This has been a roller coaster of a day because it's the dry facts of the announcement made me
Hmm.
plummet. The art that I saw made me rise back up again. Well,
Okay, yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the dry facts and even the announcement of who the artist is made me go, I'll,
Really?
yeah, I'll explain it. I'll explain.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
saw some images. Okay, now I'm back up again, right? But then, like, when you think about, like you mentioned, they're going back to the beginning. Now I'm back down again. And then I read Joshua Williamson's Twitter account and some of his responses. Now I'm back up again. But now I'm sort of like, I don't know where I am right now. I think I'm
Are
stuck
you
up.
are you flatlining?
I'm hanging upside down on a roller coaster right now, screaming, "Somebody save me!" I don't know.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
can we go? I want to go through that timeline a little bit more because just for people who maybe don't know, right?
Okay.
So, New York Comic Con, October 2025 was when they initially announced that the Legion was coming as part of Next Level. No information, just that we were going to. I think maybe we knew Joshua Williamson was going to be part of it, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. Um, Comics Pro from February 2026 was when they gave us um, that logo of the Legion, the logo that ran from Legion of Superheroes 280 in 1981 all the way to the end of that volume, issue 354 in 1987. That sort of chunky block lettering, right? They gave us that logo, and we even talked about it on one of our previous episodes. Like, what does that mean? Why use that particular logo, right? Well, clearly, I guess it didn't mean anything. Um, so we knew that. Then we got the announcement of the Superman Annual, which is still scheduled for release in July, I think it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, called A Thousand Years Later, which is, Superman from the DCKO ending, going to fix DC's future. Okay. And it's going to deal with the Omega Legion. Great. Okay. So we knew that was coming. Then you mentioned Joshua Williamson changing his avatar to that graffiti thing. Um, he went through various Legion comics, which I think this is important to acknowledge. So he posted the very first appearance from Adventure Comics 247, and it said, "Long live the Legion." Then he jumped to the 5 years later issue number one with the quote, "You can't kill a dream." Then he goes to the
Which
zero.
wait, because I mean that's just brilliant to use that,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Okay.
Then he went to the 0 hour issue, zero issue, with the quote, "It's been so long since we've known heroes like these." Then he skips the three boot, he skips New 52, and he skips Bendis's version, and he goes to the um, Superman annual, the cover by Eddie Barrows, and it says, "Long live all the legions." And then one more teaser that just said "soon" with an empty star field. So that was yesterday, right? As you mentioned. Now, here's the interesting thing. Yesterday, the DC Instagram leaked, quote unquote, leaked a Dan Mora Superman Michael J. Fox mashup, and it's homaging the Back to the Future poster, where Marty is looking at the watch, right? So Michael J. Fox is looking at the watch, and in the background are three characters, the Trinity of Standard Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy, in a completely new look.
Mm-hmm.
Leaked, quote unquote, because it was taken down.
Oh, jeez.
And then everybody spread it yesterday. So what did they do today? They just made the announcement. So that's why I was like, leaked. Was it
Yeah,
leaked?
no.
You know? And then today, Thursday, June 18th, the big announcement. So I just wanted to give that timeline. I mean, we are calling this a special bulletin. We should, put all the news out. But it kind of adds to the roller coaster-ness of it, right? Like just the crazy roller coaster ride. So
I forgot about the because I'm looking at the Blue Sky posts, and they're a
yeah.
little different than I think the Twitter stuff.
Okay.
I forgot that he had posted these other covers featuring and I think I'm jumping ahead here because we haven't talked about the covers that have been released in the solicitation, but these other covers featuring Saturn Girl and Cosmic Boy. So, okay.
Yeah, and that came.
I don't want to go too far.
That came later. Yeah, that came later. So we can get back to that. So
Okay.
let's actually say what the announcement is, right? We need to say what's going on. It was DC released that the 3 new Next Level comic book series will be launching this September, and we are focusing on the Legion of Superheroes. A new tomorrow begins for the Legion of Superheroes. Joshua Williamson and Hayden Sherman of Absolute Wonder Woman brilliance reimagine the future of the DC universe. So I'm going to read the blurb here. 1,000 years after the last son of Krypton's rocket crashed on the Kent farm, comes a new future inspired by the Man of Tomorrow. But this new future is in danger. Superheroes are outlawed. Deadly enforcers known as the Persuaders keep the populace of the United Planets in check. Worlds are at war, and this dark tomorrow's last glimmer of hope, R.J. Brand, has been brutally murdered. Can the mysterious Brainiac 1 of 5 solve Brand's murder? To restore hope to the universe, he must assemble a legion of gifted young rebels from across the cosmos, but they are scattered across the universe. Witness the dawn of a new future in DC Comics architect Joshua Williamson and Eisner-winning superstar artist Hayden Sherman's Legion of Superheroes. You will never look at tomorrow the same way again.
They are really pushing that, this is a new Legion. Never look at tomorrow. Never look at the DC future the same way again. This is not our Legion. This is not your dad's Legion. This is not your son's Legion, in fact, for those younger people out there. But so yeah, it's interesting how they're really pushing that. Everything old is new again, but a different take. Although we've seen elements of some of the things that are hinted at here in other versions of the Legion. So, okay, is this mishmash going to work? That's the big question.
Yeah. Well, when you let's go back to our initial react. What was your sort of initial? You heard mine. I went through a roller coaster. What do you have any other thoughts about? Just surface blush. What kind of emotions did you go through? Because we've been here before. We've done an episode, or not
Yeah.
an episode. We did like a segment of an episode before when they announced Bendis and Sook back in 20
hmm
whatever, or
hmm
yeah, whenever that was.
Well, like I said, we've known Joshua Williamson was going to be the writer for a long time now, and I have some not misgivings, but he's not a writer I particularly gravitate towards, but I enjoy his work, what I've read, which is not that much, honestly. But to see Hayden Sherman announced as writer as artist, I mean, at first I was like, okay, one, is it going to still be on Absolute Wonder Woman? And I guess the answer is yes,
Yes.
based on some stuff that Williamson has posted, which is interesting. Will you be able to pull that off? But
Well,
uh,
to be fair, he was doing that parts of that Batman Dark Patterns, right?
Yep, yep, and
Yeah,
that was wonderful too.
yeah,
But how far ahead was he on that versus what's going on here? But
sure.
yeah, um, I at first blush, Sherman is not the first artist I would have
Me
thought
either.
of for this.
Me either.
But thinking about it, he is such an expressive artist and does interesting things on the page. Absolute Wonder Woman is one of my absolute favorites, pardon the pun, that DC's putting out right now, and it's in large part, because of his art. So, I think he could do it. I don't know what. What are your thoughts on Sherman on this?
I was the same way. I was like, oh, that is not at all what I thought. And then as I look at some of the images, my first reaction was, wow, what a tribute to Colleen Duran this is. Like there's
Oh,
the
yeah,
the
okay.
the feeling I get looking at it is like when Colleen Duran does Legion of Superheroes, where the characters are, for lack of a better word, softer. Um,
Oh, yeah.
there's a youthfulness to it, and I think that probably is the reason why they wanted Hayden Sherman. It does evoke their younger readers' books, DC Inc. and, well, it's not called DC Inc. anymore, but all those books that um, the artist that does the Teen Titans young readers books,
I don't remember.
a Gabriel Piccolo
Oh,
is the
okay. Yeah.
artist, right? It feels like it could even have a tone. I'm not saying it looks like it, but a tone that resembles what publishers probably think younger readers want out of manga,
Hmm.
sort of. I'm not saying
I could see that.
it's
Yeah.
not one to one. I'm just, because again, we
Yep.
haven't seen that much yet.
Hmm.
But that feeling, they want a youthful feeling to this. So that was, yeah, that's what I thought when I heard Hayden Sherman. I was like, wow, that is not what I thought at all.
I mean, and there's the this black and white image that of a cityscape of Metropolis, I presume.
Oh, fantastic, right?
Where he's like, Josh Williams says in it, "Welcome to the future," and oh yeah, yeah, Hayden's stunning inks for a two-page spread in the first issue, and I mean, this looks like a somewhat darker version of what we've seen Giffen do with his futuristic city. So, I mean, if you're just kind of pushing nostalgia buttons, I mean that it's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing about that image that, see, this is where I then go back up on the roller coaster, right? Because I'm like, oh, that is fantastic. I mean, that's a fantastic image. And the level of depth is interesting. The line work is interesting. There are a lot of little clues. Like, is that the Daily Planet right there with the little, you know?
Mm, the little atom looking
Hmm.
thing. Yeah.
You see the Superman statue in the background.
Right.
You got tubes. You got RJ Brand's Killer is on the loose. You have my favorite interlac signs down there. Did you see those? You know what they say?
I saw
You
your
saw
post
my,
about it. Yeah.
yep. It says Levitz and Giffen.
Yes.
Okay, that makes me love it. All right, good. Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. Beautiful. And then there was another black and white image. Did you see that one?
I don't. Oh, the action sequence with Lightning Lad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that looks. This is what This is what I know Hayden Sherman for. These action panels that just kind of spread across the page or pages. As this is probably a 2-page spread. Um, and you lose nothing from the way that he constructs those panels on the page. It
Yeah,
shows everything you need to know about this particular scene.
right.
So it looks, I mean, just the black and white itself just looks incredible.
And then there's that image, the what I'm assuming is the cover image. Looks like it's probably more than a double cover. It looks like it could be like a connected cover. Do you see that one?
Yes, I thought I saw somewhere that it was just a full wraparound cover
Right. Okay. But you
as
see it
opposed to a
like connecting to somewhere else. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but it has the Trinity using their powers. It has Brainiac 1 of 5. It has the
Mhm.
Persuaders. It has Ayla, Lightning Lass. I'm
Yeah,
assuming that's Lightning Lass, right? It
that's what I was
has
assuming as well.
a new version of Triplicate Girl
Yes.
and a new version of Matter Eater Lad.
Oh, is that wait, where? Which one are you
Next
looking
to
at here?
Ayla. Next to
Okay, I wondered if that was Violet.
So one of his tweets, someone said, "Is that Matter Eater Lad?" And he did confirm, yes, that is
Okay.
Tenzel. And you can see she's popping
Oh, yes.
a thing. She's like going to eat something.
Ah, yeah, I did miss that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in one of the other images, one of the color images, I don't know if you saw that, where they kind of show like Brainy's lab. Did you see that one?
I did not.
Here, I'll share that with you here. Let me pull it up
Peter did all the
first.
homework, folks, for this. I barely scratched the surface of
That's
this
all right. You
announcement.
were away, right? You were somewhere
I
else.
I was at you can cut this out if you'd like, Peter. I was at the Northwest Museum of Comic Arts in Portland, Oregon, that unfortunately I found out just recently is shutting down. It's only been open since last November, November
Mhm.
2025.
That's crazy.
And yeah, and they had the Will Eisner exhibit, and oh my God, Peter, how amazing it was to see up close these black and white pages of the Spirit and other comics that Will Eisner did, and now I'm in love with Will Eisner.
All right. Do you see that image right
Oh,
here?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was Brainy's lab. Okay,
I'm assuming, right? Like it has, or it's his
yes.
head, right? Because look, it has like it's his head because it has the outline of his head. And
Oh yes, I complete. Oh
yeah,
yes, that is completely Brainiac 5. You're right.
yeah.
Yep,
And
and
there,
there are 5 of them, 4 interior and then the
mhm.
exterior image.
And then see Matter Eater Loud down on the bottom again,
Ah,
chomping on
eating.
something. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. They've got a little Green Lantern Corps symbol there.
Science police symbol right
Oh,
here.
yep. There we go. It's something that looks like a robot. Maybe that's a science police officer wearing a helmet.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And whom I presume is R.J. Brand with the beard there.
Right. Right. Same image from that other spread.
And aliens everywhere. I love this. This is one of the things that I was really hoping for that we would. I mean, not so much with the Legionnaires so far in these preview images, but in like some of the backgrounds and whatnot, we are seeing more alien species.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Speaking of, I want to point your attention to that main Hayden Sherman cover. So you already identified all of the Legionnaires there. um, we see on the backside, what would be the backside of the cover, um, what I believe that should be mech, uh, 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 the twins' brother, and we see him in another cover as well,
Right.
which is interesting because he's featured very largely on this backside of the cover. So they there must be going to be there must blah, blah, blah. They must be uh, planning to focus on the Ranzes for a bit.
Oh, I mean, I got that feeling definitely because they're showing so much Lightning Lad artwork. Like,
Three three covers feature
yeah,
him almost exclusively.
yeah. I mean, Sherman's got a cover. It's almost like he's a stand-in for Superman, like young boy on the farm, or maybe like Luke Skywalker.
Well,
Um,
they one of the I forget which one now. One of the covers features him reading a what I presume has to be a facsimile edition of Action Comics #1, and he's got Superman statues in the background.
yeah.
So he must be the ultra Superman or Superboy fan, whatever. Sorry, aside, there's no Superboy on any of these covers that I've seen.
I know. I mean,
So,
the press release. Okay, so there's a number of things there that you said. The press release says, um, yeah, the press release says, inspired by the Man of Tomorrow. There is a tweet from, so this is from Josh's Twitter, introducing our team to show why we love them from the start. These kids, inspired by Superboy, live in a world that hates heroes, but their optimism and adventures bring them together against a common enemy while carrying Superman's legacy into the future. Long live the Legion. There's also a video of him on DC Comics Facebook, him and Hayden Sherman. It's like 45 seconds long. So clearly there must be a longer conversation somewhere, where he also says, inspired by Superman. So that feels like, is that the carryover from the annual, right?
mm,
That because he has to protect the future, or is it the legacy as we see on that one cover where Lightning Lad is looking at Action Comics #1? So yeah, like why are we not? Where is Superboy in all of this? So, and the press release also said, inspired by 1,000 years after the last son of Krypton's rocket crashed on the Kent farm. Not Superman's debut or Superboy's debut. So I don't know how they're going to handle all that.
well, and take into account too that it says Superman, Man of Tomorrow. We have multiple Supermen running around the DCU right now.
Oh, don't no, they can't
And
complicate it. They can't complicate it.
I know, and John is currently going by the name Tomorrow Man, stupidly. But so yeah. And given that he as Superboy in the previous reboot was supposed to be the inspiration. Anyway, I agree with you. They should not complicate things like this. It should be Clark Kent, Superboy/Superman,
Right.
who is the inspiration.
Right. But I do like, as I said before, I like that they're kind of putting Lightning Lad front and center on a lot of those covers, on the story. Feels interesting, you have to, Cosmic Boy, it's been Cosmic Boy several times actually. I guess they see something in Lightning Lad that is more, again, if you're going to capture the youth, what are you gonna use Saturn
Mm,
Girl, Cosmic Boy, or Lightning Lad?
I guess.
I
Yeah,
guess.
this is where on the roller coaster I'm going back down. When I saw all those covers featuring Lightning Lad, I'm like, oh, really? Really? It seems like they're going to play up or play with the depiction of what was he called in the reboot?
Livewire.
Livewire. Yeah, this evokes more Livewire than Lightning Lad to me. But we'll see.
Mhm.
I prefer Cosmic Boy, but that's just a that's just a personal preference. Oh, I didn't finish. There was another thing I wanted to throw out to you, Peter,
Uh-huh.
on that cover. So you mentioned that there are persuaders. Okay, so persuaders. It reminded me of the peacekeepers in Absolute Superman.
Okay. Right.
So we're using a name of a character in the DC lore, but in a different way. They're a group, not a particular person.
Yes.
But the largest character on this cover image is one of those persuaders, but this persuader has wings.
Yep.
And none of the ones below seem to have the that characteristic. So of course, that's
Right.
got to be Dawnstar, right?
Right. Because she is a bounty hunter, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what. So let me pull another quote here from Joshua's Twitter. Everybody kept asking, what about this character? What about this version? What about this whatever? Somebody threw out 5 years later. He says, I love the 5 years later run. 0 Hour is my fave, to be honest, which sent a shudder down my spine. And he continues, but the look, some of the tone, and overall storytelling of that series was a big influence. You'll see that book was very ahead of its time.
No kidding. Again, serendipitous because at the time of this announcement, this recording, I had put out a thing on my
Yeah.
my longbox review website talking about who should or should not be part of this new Legion, and then a few days later, there's this announcement, and I thought it was funny how he seemed to go through the same kind of process that I did, and I'm sure everybody, you probably have done it yourself, just thinking about it. But I was certainly pleased to see that he talked about some of the same characters that I did that are not part of, quote unquote, my Legion, which
Yeah.
is the volume 2 and 3 folks. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no. I was just gonna. I mean, he says several times he adores the 0 Hour Legion. Somebody asked him, "Will we see Gates?" And he said, "Yes, I love
Hmm.
writing snarky characters."
And that's why I chose Gates for my team in that article.
Yeah. And I think we had that conversation too on another episode, right? Like maybe on the catch-all one where we were talking about why we would want certain characters, especially if they were like the personification of a certain era and did not have duplicates before
Yeah.
it. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, he said several times that he loves. So like here, what he said about Lightning Lad. I love the 0 Hour Legion, but it makes more sense for it to be Lightning Lad here, based on the story and the world we're building.
Yeah. None of the characters that are reboots seem to be using their reboot names
Correct.
because he
Right.
he does say the same thing about Phantom Girl or
Hmm.
Apparition. I'm a fan of Apparition, but I'm going with Phantom Girl here. So yeah, that's interesting that he is chosen to ignore that aspect of the reboot Legion.
Right. Right. Because I mean, really, the original names are more iconic. I think.
Hmm.
It
Even though the newer names are in some cases better.
some of them are better, but I mean, I feel it's a Stan Lee thing. She's Phantom Girl.
Yeah.
She's triply a girl. If they decide to use Lightning Lad, like it's simple and it makes sense. So I get it.
Hmm.
Same thing. Someone asked about kinetics, and he says Zoe was one of my faves in the 0 Hour Legion. I got her in Superman last year, which she did. She made an appearance when Superboy Prime and Superman went to the future, and they came
Oh,
across a
right.
few. Yep, she was part of that. Like when everything was destroyed, and she was there.
Yes. Yeah. And,
Um,
and and I had just in terms of reading timeline, I had just been exposed to her in my Reboot Legion read that I've been doing, and I thought, oh, that's a really interesting character.
yep, yep. He says he continues. It might be some time before we get to her here, but I'd regret it if we didn't.
He needs to be careful. Don't make promises when your book gets canceled.
Nope. Now, do you want to talk about that other character on the cover? The one all the way to the
Yes.
left?
Yes. Um, yeah. Who does that look like with the green shirt and what looks like a red vest and the little circular symbol on the right chest and the mask? Uh, are they doing what you have said, long said, Peter, and bringing in a Batman family member into the 31st century?
I mean, it looks like a Robin.
That character does appear in one of those other preview images as well in a background, I think. Oh yeah, that same action shot with Lightning Lad. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just similar. There's someone with a. Oh no, it's Lightning Lad wearing a mask. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I totally misinterpreted that. Why is he wearing a mask here? Oh, because superheroes are outlawed.
Yes. That's right. And he's there on the bike on the cover too. That's
Yeah.
him.
Well, okay. So when I first saw that, the way it's drawn, I thought even though it's clearly Lightning Lad there, I mean, it's not really lightning. Like the wheels are supposed to be lightning, and you get that in that other image that we're talking about. But here it looks more like fire, and I thought, is this motorcycle powered by wildfire, or is this Sun Boy? What's going on here? But I think you're right. This is just showing Lightning Lad as a central figure in the Legion.
Yeah, and the V Ken Marion cover, he is riding almost what looks like a tractor bike, and you can see the lightning spinning down to the tires, almost like he's powering it himself.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that character looks like a Robin character, a Batman character. I mean, Joshua Williamson on Twitter said, I don't see an R, but it does look like a bat symbol. So
I don't see an R. I missed that when I was reading through those tweets that you provided.
um here's some quotes from that short little video from the DC Facebook. Again, Joshua says, the future of the DC universe, a bunch of kids inspired by Superman. We do need to appeal to a new readership, a new audience. Hayden Sherman says, talking about the Legion, this I thought was interesting. They know that they're supposed to be together. There's this destiny quality to it. And he's saying that in response to Joshua Williamson's, what he knows of the writing of the book. He likes that there's this destiny quality to it. They know that they're supposed to be together. So this is I have a theory,
Okay.
because that's what this episode is for, right? Reactions, speculations, unnecessary theories. And it hit a little harder when I saw that Lightning Lad cover by Yasmin Putri with the Action Comics #1. So there's several ways this I feel this could go. The DCKO King Omega Superman restores the future and shows Brainiac 105 or the new Lightning Lad, shows them the entire Legion history that has come before, giving him a sense of like, here's what my future Legion was. Go do that. Go make that happen for this new future. Maybe they don't remember all the bits and pieces, but they remember the important stuff, right? There's one aspect. The other aspect, going back to what Mark Waid said many, many, many months ago, that this will be a Legion that everybody will love or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Something to that effect. Again, what if the entirety of the Legion history exists as comic books, very much the same way the way Williamson is writing Superboy Prime now, where he has knowledge of how to handle situations because of what he read and his comic book collection. Like, what if in that King Omega, Grant Morrison, everything is a story thing. All the Legion that we know exists as literature, as future literature. And that's why we can still read it, it'll never be that future again. So Lightning Lad is reading about the Legion in the future and Brainiac 5 or whoever. And that's why they're like, oh my God, this is us. This could be us, right? There's a second way. Here's a third way. Once again, all that Legion history exists, but there's a new starting point. There's a new Legion, right? There is no, maybe there isn't even a way to go like previously into the older stuff that we know, but all those characters exist. And just like Justice League Unlimited, this new Legion can call on one of them. That's like, especially because it was Brainiac 1 of 5. I was like, what if it was the 4 other Brainiacs that we saw plus this new one?
I had that thought as well.
Yeah, and then they can take a step further, like because Joshua Williamson, when everybody's asking about all these characters, he seems to always say yes. How are they going to show all these characters? What if they can pull a kinetics? What if they can pull an excess? Or what if they become like a mentor or something? Like what if like the Justice League Unlimited, the Great 10 or whatever, Mr. Terrific's 10 or whatever it was, or I forget what that was, that they have an important mission, so they need Projector. They have another mission, they need Mon-El. They have another, you know what I mean? I'm trying to marry what Wade said, all this stuff that Williamson is saying, that all these characters are going to exist. This series needs to skyrocket to last as long as it needs to last to include everybody. So there must be another way that longtime readers, that they're like, look, we know this is new, but your Legion is still there. Well, where is our Legion? It has to be somewhere, because they keep saying we're going to be happy. Well, I'm not happy unless I see my Legion. So I don't know. Those are just wild speculations.
It's very interesting. Yeah. But I don't want them to give us our legions in this. I want this Legion to stand alone, but evoke our Legion in some ways.
So you're done. You don't want like all the Legion history, all those characters. You don't ever want to see them again. You want this to be a clean slate and go.
Well, I mean, that seems to be the way they're going with it, based on this limited information that we have.
See, right.
So, and I'm fine with that. It's familiar, but there's a new take on it. I have questions about what the press release said about it, and how that. So, you know what? It's just entering my mind here. I think this is the problem with the Legion generally, ever since they rebooted it, is that everybody wants that old Legion back, and they keep trying to give it to us, and no take ever seems to last. So what?
I'm going to leave that pause in there.
So I don't know. I guess now that ride is going back down.
Oh, geez. Well, because look,
now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because what Bendis did wrong is he gave us all the members and never did anything with them individually. He just did it as a concept.
Yeah, yeah.
And so clearly they're going back to the beginning, which is fine. That's what they did at the 0 hour. They did that as well. Wade did the Bendis version, but Wade was a lot smarter about how to make sure we knew what the new characters, the spin on the old versions. He had a really great premise. I don't know enough about the New 52 stuff, you know. I
That that
love,
was that seemed to me, and I've only read a little bit of it, but it just seemed to be to me just a continuation of
okay,
Jeff Johns's Legion in the Superman title.
yeah. And I mean, I love the retro the no, not, is it the retro? No,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Retroboot. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I liked Paul Levitz's first when he came back to it, you know, prior to the New 52. I liked those stories, you know. I thought there were some interesting things in there, but this one, I'm kind of shocked that you're like, you really don't want to see. I feel like they've teased that all that is still going to be included. Like, how, you know, it's almost like at the end of the when they went from Zero Hour to Mark Wade, they had that one Legion Titan special, which you may not have read, which put a bow on one era, and
Hmm.
then we got a new era, right?
Right.
Like, I feel like that's what the annual Superman annual is going to do. It's going to put a bow and wrap up the Omega Legion and all the questions we may have, and maybe it's the thing of like that energy just gets transferred to a new starting, his the just like Darkseid infused the absolute universe, Superman is going to infuse the future of the DC universe.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
that energy, I'm assuming, will transfer to that, right? And in that creates a whole new legion of superheroes based on everything he knows. So it's like
Hmm.
he's like a prism, right? All the old stuff goes in him, the new stuff goes out of him. And I
So
guess
then,
that's where the cutoff is. And we'll never see all that. We're never going to see all that stuff again. And then I'm just going to go back to Adventure Comics 247 and just read from the beginning and cry.
well, okay. First of all, Williamson did say on Twitter the Superman annual will have the fate of the Omega Legion.
Yep.
Okay. I think you are correct in that this whatever King Omega and or this energy like you just described, that is what is the catalyst for the future. If you try to involve all the different versions of the Legion in the way that you described, which I'm not saying is a bad idea, I'm just saying that makes the Legion really heavy in past continuity and more complicated. And that's the problem with the Legion, generally speaking. It's too
Sure.
complicated. Oh my God, I'm arguing for um, uh, the crisis never having been done, right? So, or arguing. I don't know what I'm arguing for, but I mean that was the argument for doing Crisis on Infinite Earths was the DC universe was too complicated for new readers, supposedly.
Yeah.
And but I really do think that the Legion, with all the different versions and this hype about everybody's going to love it. Well, not everybody's going to love it. So why are you doing this? And people like you, Peter, you're always, I mean, your brain's always working on these different angles and coming up with these really cool ideas. And them saying things like that makes you postulate these possible futures.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't see them doing that, which is why we get this new future. So, okay, does that imply that the future that Superman goes to in the annual is not the future that we're going to get in the Legion of Superheroes? Maybe. And what does that do with the complication or the complicated matter of it?
Right.
But it's in danger. They're out. Superheroes are outlawed. The Persuaders are there. Dark Tomorrow's last glimmer of hope. R.J. Brand has been brutally murdered. So that takes out that aspect of the Legion from the beginning, apparently. Brainiac 1 of 5 is the one who's going to go gather the Legionnaires. So how does that impact our Trinity? So but again, I'm intrigued by these details that we've been given, but the overall, or I guess the overallness of the overview of the Legion that we're getting, I don't know. I think now that we're talking about it, I am less thrilled than I
Oh,
was when I
no.
first got on the mic
Well,
with you.
let me see if I can put you back up the roller coaster. The difference, I think, even though DC was behind Bendis's Legion, I think DC is really behind this. And
Oh yeah.
there are several quotes here. So let's read some things here. The new Legion of Superheroes, this is from Josh's Twitter, has the energy of the absolute, Energon, and Ultimate universes. It has the core spirit of the Legion, but updated for today. It's new reader friendly without forgetting its history. See, that's the part that, without forgetting its history. It's the future of DC in more ways than one. Don't miss out. Let me
Uh-huh.
let me read one other thing. Let's see, where did that come? Um, the new Legion series is key to our future plans for DC, but I want to make sure we let this book breathe, be new reader friendly and accessible on its own before we do crossovers. Now, I don't know if he's saying our future plans for DC, meaning other books, other titles, other events, whatever, or is he saying the future plans, DC's future in
Yeah.
continuity, right?
Yeah.
Now, my thinking is he means from a publisher aspect, from a publishing aspect, the future plans of DC, because somewhere along the way, I feel like this Legion of Superheroes is, to go back to that Superman a Megaforce thing, it feels like it could be the opposite of the absolute. Like, for the mainstream DC universe to fight Darkseid, whatever Darkseid's plans are for the absolute universe, you need the Legion of Superheroes. Just like he had the Omega Legion, they need this new version of the Legion.
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure. Uh, yeah. Wow. That's a good revelation. I think that is exactly what they will move towards with this. But here's the thing. As he said, only a small handful of the cast is on Earth when the story starts. Like you just said, they're going to start small and work it out. Um, you can't introduce 25 characters all at once, but that did not work well last time. And so that requires a bit of runway,
Yeah.
right? Introduce all the characters. They have to perform as a team. You get to know them better, and then you have to introduce this big threat that's coming, because they still haven't resolved that whole thing, right? At the end of what was it? The last thing, the absolute
DCKO.
thing, DCKO. Thank you. The threat of Darkseid is still there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and that would make, so you have the Omega Legion and this Legion, right? The black versus white in very contrasty terms, right? So that, I like that aspect of it. I like the Dark Legion ends and this new inspirational Legion starts. And there was something that he said here that I wanted to point out having to do with R.J. Brand being brutally murdered. Oh, this Dark Tomorrow's last glimpse of hope, right? I really like that, and given, I think maybe Williamson and Sherman are making some commentary about modern times,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I love about comic books. That's what I love about art in general, is that it's constantly having a conversation with our present,
Yeah.
whether we realize it or not in the
Yeah.
moment. And I definitely think they are pushing back against that darkness that we
Yeah.
are, a large segment of America is experiencing, and
The
quite frankly,
world.
the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, so that's good. Young rebels, gifted
yeah.
young rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's calling us to join join the Legion.
Right.
Oh yeah, now back up,
See,
back up a
told you.
little bit.
Well, back down in Heroes Con, Scott Snyder talked about the absolute universe, and he said, "Look, my Batman as an older reader, creator, and for many of us, our Batman is rich and has all his resources, and in many ways, he is the quote unquote system, right? And he said, I wanted when I was thinking of the absolute universe, I was absolutely thinking of parallels to what was going on at the time throughout the world. And he said, think of these aren't the exact words. There's a video, you can actually watch the video, but something to the effect of, the richer get richer and everybody else suffers. And he said, I wanted to flip the Batman thing. I wanted Batman to be the one that had to come up with the resources and go up against all this, all these atrocities. And he wanted Joker to be wealthy and rich and part of the system. And he said, I thought of all this because of my kids, my son, I think he said. So how would they see the world around them? Are they really going to want to will they want the Batman that we know, or do they want this Batman? Clearly, the absolute universe is showing that, it's very popular. So I feel like that's the same thing that they're putting to this, like you mentioned. They're trying to give them that spin. He mentioned about 5 years later. Another quote, he says, I merged elements from different legions to build a new story that starts fresh and accessible. We're taking it deeper into sci-fi and the weird, unpredictable, unexpected. I didn't want to overload the cast with too many characters. I wanted to show the formation of the Legion. This new series has easily been the most intimidating project I've ever undertaken at DC. It's risky and different from what people might expect. It matters to me that we carry on the Legion legacy while also reintroducing the characters we all love to today's new audience.
Hmm. I'm so glad you read that one thing about the deeper into sci-fi and the weird, unpredictable, unexpected. When I read that right before we turned on the recorder, I'm like, oh yes, yes. This is also what I want out of a Legion book. I want them to show the sci-fi elements of it. I want them to get into the weirdness of the cosmos. And like I said earlier, the alienness of the the world, so to speak. So yeah, bring that on. But again, I come back to do all of that, they need time.
Yeah.
Or every issue is a 40-page issue.
They're going to have to back up this series. They're going to have to let it go longer than a year. Bendis's run only went a year. I think people fell off that book fairly quickly. I think in this new DC age, they will bolster it with variant covers
Mm.
and things, which, on some days they're skippable, other days they are amazing. And they drive people to stores. I think I, if it holds true to that energy, I think that's the other reason why they wanted they put Hayden Sherman on it, like to bring, oh, you're reading Absolute Wonder Woman, well, go read this.
Yeah.
If you
Mhm.
like that artwork, go read that, right? So
I mean, the only other person I think that they could really put on this to have that energy, that excitement, is Dan Mora, but he's
yeah,
already doing so many other things.
exactly.
And then even though I love Mora's stuff, it's just like, oh, he's doing another book. It's not Hayden Sherman is somewhat new to DC ish, and he's got a lot of excitement around what he's done for, at least in those two recent titles that he's been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the hierarchy of things, Dan Mora went from Batman, Superman, World's Finest, and then was given, because of Absolute Power and because of the success of World's Finest. Oh, well, now we're giving you Superman and Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
To give him Legion of Superheroes doesn't feel like an upgrade. It feels like either the same level or below.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but Hayden Sherman, you're doing Absolute Wonder Woman, you're killing it, you're getting Eisner nominated. People are loving what you're doing. It's I mean, and the story, right? I get that too, but really the art is like, friggin' amazing. Oh, we're going to give you a mainstream big profile book, Legion of Superheroes. that
Launching
hasn't
new number one.
new number one, new franchise. You're gonna get to create the designs. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade for Hayden Sherman.
Wait, do we know for sure that he created the designs for the characters?
I would think so. I would.
Unlike, because Ryan Sook, no, I can't remember.
Hmm.
Did Sook do that,
Yes,
or was
Sook
it
did.
somebody else?
Sook did the
Okay,
designs. Yeah, he did
okay.
do them because let me get my Twitter account because Julian Lytle, you know Julian Lytle,
Mm-hmm.
um, on Twitter sent me the whole like, he also reached out, um, about this whole new long live, the Legion stuff, and you can see he showed me another tweet which I did not include here, but designs by Hayden,
Okay.
and it shows like the characters like Matter Eater Lad, who has the similar colors, that little triangle design on the belt that the original has. Brainiac 1 of 5, Lightning Lad, Cosmic Boy, and Saturn Girl in their new sort of outfits, their starter jackets, and things, and then little head designs up above. So yes, this is all
Okay.
Hayden
Okay.
Sherman.
I wish Williamson would have, or Sherman himself would have included this stuff on Blue Sky so I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that totally makes sense. Obviously, you give an artist a clean slate to start from with an existing property, and yeah, go crazy and reinvent everything for the modern audience.
This is why it's taken so long for them to announce it, right? Like they probably want to get several issues in the can and let Hayden finish up the Dark Pattern stuff so then he can come work over here, take his time, make sure it's good.
Another thing that Williamson said, and this is from the article from the Beat, these books are set in, and he's referring to the next level books. These books are set in continuity, while the series will be independent reads and not heavily tied to other books. They will exist alongside DC's ongoing comic book series like Superman, Batman, Justice League Unlimited, and more. So I think that's important. That even though he's stated that he doesn't want to bring in, or have crossovers early on, which I think is a good call, but to have it be, there is a direct line from Superboy to the Legion of Superheroes, and maybe having that filter go through the Superman books. I mean, the ones that are solicited at the same time as Legion of Superheroes #1, they're just finishing up. It looks like the Zod thing, the Kingdom of Zod, I think is the
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't appear to have any direct connection to Legion, and I think that's fine. But going forward, if once they get their feet under them, get established with the book, I would say my preference would be no more or no earlier than a year of Legion books published before you start messing around with time travel. And that was the other thing. What is time travel now? Because we're talking about time travel back in 1988, 89 DC
Hmm.
Comics,
Hmm.
completely different, I'm sure. So what is time travel now in the DC universe? But to not muck up things too much, and like I said, give Williamson and Sherman that runway to build a strong Legion foundation that will not crumble in 12 issues.
It can't. They can't risk that. If this Legion doesn't work, now granted, it also needs readers to back it up. Excuse me, retailers to back it up,
Well,
right?
that's yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what it goes back to the whole variant thing. Like retailers are really funneling that, channeling that, especially in terms of retail incentives or retail variants themselves, coming up with their own. If they know that they can land a really big artist on their own retailer cover, I mean, that's going to make them support the book.
Hmm.
So, um, uh, it has worked, the the relationship between publisher and retailer, and specifically DC, they've given if you can't, if you're a retailer and you can't sell DC right now, you're a terrible businessman, business person, excuse me. If
Hmm.
you can't sell those DC compacts, if you can't sell the absolute universe, right? Like if you have customers walking in and they're like not buying absolute and you're not questioning why, you're not doing your job, you
Mm.
know. I feel. So yes, retailers have to get behind it. I have to get behind it. You know, I'm getting all those variants. I mean, they're
Oh, are you
gorgeous.
really?
Oh, I did it for the Bendis stuff for
That's
all
true.
12 issues and then sent them to you, you know?
You're
So it's
crazy.
like, um, and I don't miss them, right? Like I don't miss the variants. I can look at them online. But this one feels like, okay, I have to be won over by this because there is
Mm.
no second chance. There's no, this is the eighth chance, really, but there's no other. We can't go through this again. We just can't. This has to be it. It has to work. DC has to, if only five people are reading it, DC still has to publish it.
I don't know. I totally agree with you. That's what I want as well. But I mean, DC has a as what was his name? Kevin Miller on the CGS podcast when you
About
talked
the
to him
Crisis
about the
Companion.
Crisis Companion.
Uh-huh.
Yes, DC has a crisis problem. And while I like to think that we have seen the last of that with uh, whatever came before DCKO.
Dark Crisis.
Dark Crisis, yeah. I can't even keep track of all the damn crises. Um, uh, and the fact that they've rebooted Legion how many times? You know, I fear that it's just so easy for DC to fall back on their heels on, well, let's just reboot it. And the Legion, I don't know, they seem to have a real problem with Legion by rebooting them and new interpretations. Whereas when they relaunch a new #1 of Superman, it's basically the same character. It's just a new creative team.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to treat the Legion that way.
Yeah.
And it's to the point now, as you say, you know, with how many reboots have we seen? It almost seems disrespectful to the characters and to us fans.
Yeah.
With a franchise with a set of characters that predates a lot of other Silver Age characters
Yes.
that seem foundational to DC Comics.
Yeah.
So
Like in one of
yeah.
my notes, I wrote, you know, like, okay, so RJ Brand is dead. The heroes are on the run. I was like, you know, superheroes are outlawed. I was like, wow, this feels very like X-Men-ish, right? Who,
Mm.
who predated the X-Men? Legion of Superheroes, you
Yeah,
know?
don't make them clones of X-Men or whatever, right? It's got to be its own unique thing.
Yeah.
And I think by okay, yeah, some of the characters are going to be different now. That's fine, whatever. But focusing on the sci-fi elements, the weird, like you said, uh, starting small and working out big. That's exactly how the team organically changed over time when they were first introduced.
Hmm.
You know, and they only got up to the 25 characters after somebody, you know, some writer or editor's like, okay, that's too many. We gotta make it this and no more. And it became, and that's the core of the team that it became for us. And then we've only seen versions of that every time they've redone it. So no one's ever rebooted Legion in this way.
Yeah.
It's always been, here's the entire team. Some people like Wade and
Kitson.
Kitson, thank you, did it really well in that version. Bendis and Sook, not so much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But again, I think we have to think about where we are right now. Online, we'll have a lot to say about it. You know, like you can put stuff out online. They, you know, the different formats, the compacts, however they're going to trade this. Are they going to make DC Go versions of this? I assume they probably will because they already do
oh,
it for Absolute Wonder Woman. They 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 have DC Go versions
did
of.
they? I missed that. Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Um, uh, in fact, now they're starting to print DC Go like that.
What?
Nothing but but Nightwing DC Go
Oh,
version.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I
They're
saw
now
that too.
putting the ones that are exclusively digital into print. So um, DC's always been good about formats. Always been good about testing
Yeah.
new formats and things like that. So
Well, I mean, you just brought this up, and I'm like, oh wow, we could see potentially see more collections of things that we've not seen before for Legion because of this to help push Legion into the the consciousness or the subconsciousness of the comic book world, and that that's just a plus
yeah,
for everybody.
yeah.
Um, or they could not do that at all, which is pretty much what they've been doing anyway, because they want to they want to just focus on this. And well, you don't need that collection from 40 years ago. Here's the new Legion.
Right.
Take it.
Take it. Let's read some of the other character. Again, this is just Joshua Twitter. He may say yes, but who knows what it means? Like um, when someone asked about Wildfire, he said yes, but then he had another response. I almost put him in issue 2, but it was too soon. We will get there. They are too cool to not have in the book. Also, pay attention to his pronouns. He usually uses they instead of he or she. Feel free to throw out any of those that are interesting to you.
Well, I mean, this is not really what you're going for, but I was going to have Universo in the first arc, but it was such a small role it is that I decided to push him back until it could be a bigger introduction. Um, given the Universo project was the inspiration for our podcast. I just found it interesting that he was going with Universo as opposed to I don't know. Um, um, who's the magic guy?
Mordru.
More. I swear I'm losing my mind, people. Just other Legion, and what Sorry, I'm my neurons are firing. We have Persuaders, but what does that mean for the Fatal Five and the Persuader that was all that? Anyway,
Yeah.
I find it interesting that Dragon Mage. He said, "I'll do my best." That's not a character that I was all that keen on anyway from the retro boot.
I mean, that's
Uh,
a Dragon Mage is from. Uh,
oh,
Actually, he's from
is that
the
the Karate?
Legionnaires. He's from the Legion. He's from Zero Hour.
Oh,
Is
really?
Yeah. So
Oh, well, there you go. That just shows my ignorance of that era of the Legion. I thought he was a new character in the retro boot.
I'm not sure if you got to that. Maybe you did. Maybe
Nope,
you did
nope.
not.
I
No.
that nope.
Yeah. I mean, he did also. I believe he did also show up during the retro boot era.
Okay. I'm just happy we get uh like I said, I like Gates. What little I've read of him so far. We're getting Lyle Norg, Polar Boy, but does that mean he's in the Legion or because he does talk about the Legion of Subs? He was asked who his favorite sub was, probably Lita, which that's cool. But I do love me some Porcupine Pete. Okay. But he does say Breck is dope. So I find this so fascinating, Peter, that we just had this conversation about Polar Boy and how he's been mistreated by Levitz, and here we have this next generation, if you will, Ryder Williamson saying, Breck is dope. Come on, that's so cool.
Here's one of my favorites. So someone asked what his favorite romantic ship was, and the writer said one of my favorites is uh, Kara and Real Docs, Supergirl and Brainiac 5. And Joshua Williams said, that's my answer too, sort of. My thoughts on it are complicated because of Laurel.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
saw that too. I'm like,
love that.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Laurel?
Laurel Kent or,
Yeah.
or Laurel Gand.
Yeah. Well, that's
Laurel
who I
Gand.
was thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah, Laurel
Andromeda.
Gand.
Well, she becomes a Andromeda. Because I said this in another episode. I love that character. I think she's an
Mhm.
amazing Supergirl stand-in, but she's different. and I loved what they did with her briefly, with her and Brainy and her design. Just love, 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 love it.
Well, in that post that I talked about earlier on my site, I was like, I don't want Mon-El. I would rather, if you're going to have a Superman stand-in, I mean, I would prefer just Ultra Boy, but so, because that way they're not relying on a Superman-like character all the time. Um, but if you're going to have one, use Laurel because she's a much more interesting character.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
So that's the thing. So let me just throw this out here. Um, what hmm, what are some of the characters? Oh, like I said, Mon-El I find boring, uh, generally speaking. Um, uh, what so the Williamson and Sherman are going to have to not only introduce these characters in this new world, new situation, but they have got to win us over with these characters that are calling back to what are we at? Almost 70 years of Legion
Six,
history,
yeah,
something like that,
60 some.
with all these different versions. And like I said, win us over with them. And it's like, well, I don't I don't find Mon-El in what I've read of him to be all that interesting, because they don't play with the interesting things about him, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So what will they have to do to make Mon-El for me interesting? And choose your character that you like. Matter Eater Lad. I mean, a lot of people don't like Matter Eater Lad. What a dumb power! And then what Giffen did, which I think is adorable, make him uh, make a comedy out of him. What do you do with that, right? So, okay, now I'm getting excited again. This is just the possibility of
Yeah,
what's to come. So I keep trying to derail you with these
that's
these
okay.
asides.
So he says about all the characters. He says I was excited to write them all, but Tenzel and Ayla surprised me. About Dawnstar and Wildfire, oh, they are there. You'll see. That was cryptic. With what we said about the cover, it makes sense,
Yes,
that
yeah.
that could be her. Our editor is a huge Mon-El fan and talks to me about putting him in the book at least once a week.
Bad editor, bad.
Ultra Boy is a yes. A small group to start, but more as we go.
Hmm.
It's another non-committal answer.
Are these Peter? Do you know? Are these pretty much in sequential order of Q&A or posts?
Yeah,
Or
sort of. They're like
okay,
all over, yeah. Shadow Lash, Shrinking Violet, Phantom Girl. Those are three of my favorites. So yes.
hmm
I mean, he rarely says no. So that's why I'm like thinking, how is he going to get all these in? Now, something you just said about Laurel and some other things made me think, and also his acknowledging 5 years later and how ahead of its time it was. And if he's writing anything like that, then you can have 1,000 characters. You could still have your small group, but you can also have 1,000 characters because, like you said with Polar Boy doesn't have to be a member of the Legion to show up.
hmm
Laurel does not. If he throws in 5 years later Legion characters, then I'll love this book. I'll take back everything I said. If he shows me Kent Shakespeare and Laurel and Ivy and
Wait, do you mean
Celeste.
Oh yeah. Uh, do you mean the the characters within this new or new versions of those characters,
Correct.
as opposed to
Well,
transplants from that
right,
era?
right,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, yeah. New versions. Like if
Uh,
that would be uh, because then what Mark said is
yes.
then he's not lying.
Yes,
He was
exactly.
like, you'll love it. Everybody will love it because here's not only Dr. Gimmel, but Dr. Gimmel's assistant is Kent Shakespeare.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
okay, now you got me. They go to Daxam, and who's the ambassador of Daxam? It's Laurel,
Yes.
or they go to somewhere else um, oh, Stargates are down. We need to find somebody. We need to find Gates. who was a teleporter. You know what I mean? Okay, now you're using all these characters, and very much like with Wade and Kitson, like there was a core Legion team, but you know they said like we all are Legion, right? Like, every youth in
Hmm.
the universe was a member of the Legion. So it's like it's kind of like that thing. Like you're slowly building up the support group. I mean, to go back to the X-Men, some of the most interesting stories are when you find out like this person has been part of like Xavier's underground, you know, and like the support group for the larger team is just as important. So you start filling that support group with characters from all over the different eras, but new versions of them. But like, you know, new versions, but make sure they still have what we love about them,
Hmm.
right? Like even design wise, like, you know, stick Kent Shakespeare in a gray, you know, starter jacket thing, like great. Okay,
And
I'm there.
glasses. He
Yeah,
has to
and
have the
glasses.
glasses.
Right, yeah. You start doing that and then your storytelling gets deeper and deeper, but still kicking in the action and still making sure you're not boring to younger readers. Okay, you know, you might win me over.
Yeah, yeah. And so that leads me to ask you, Peter, are you really hoping for a Gigi appearance?
Oh my God. Come on. Gotta have Gigi.
And
I
what does
should
that mean for Siobhan, you know? So yeah. Ah,
we don't need her. We need Gigi. I'm gonna tweet him
or
that. I'm gonna
him.
be like, or him. Yeah, I'm gonna say we need Gigi. You give me Gigi, I'll buy 10 copies of every issue.
Which you're going to do anyway. So yeah.
Oh. Let's
It's sorry, one more thing.
yeah.
It's interesting that he says Jackie,
Uh,
not
the person
not.
who wrote it said Jackie. And then he did
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
these are
sorry.
people asking him, are these characters gonna but I didn't want to write all that, you know,
Gotcha,
their
gotcha.
stuff.
Okay.
So someone said Jackie. He did and he says, I have a plan for her, but it won't not until we get past the first arc. But he did say, I like that you call her Jackie because I do as well.
Well, sure, but you know, is it is it Projectra or is it Sensor Girl?
Oh well. I mean, beyond that, what his point was like. That's how he thinks of these characters. He
Oh yeah,
thinks of
yeah,
them
yeah,
as their name, you know.
yeah.
Because then he did then also ask in that thread, because I think the person said, you know, is it going to be the human or the alien? And he said, well, which one? And he just like offhandedly was like, which one do you like? You know, and I wanted to write, not the frickin' snake. I don't need the
Ah,
snake.
that's funny.
Someone said XS. He says yes. Someone said, will we get Superboy or all new Legionnaires? And he said yes.
Yes.
So,
I am looking forward to seeing Superboy in the Legion again, and it not be some other version of a clone or a son or a,
you mean Clark Kent,
I want
Superboy?
it to be Clark Kent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the one that Wade was writing and Skylar Patridge, I guess the name
Hmm.
was. Yeah, the one that version of the Superboy feels like he would fit with
Yeah.
this team.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Very. Yeah. The very youthful. Um. You know, connected to it his time version of the character. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Have we covered everybody on the list?
yeah. I
I
think
think so.
I do want to point out. He also wrote, I have amazing partners in Hayden Sherman, Tamara Bonvillain, and Hassan Osman Allahu, along with editors Paul Kaminsky and Chris Rosa. I'm really excited to share with you the Legion of Superheroes #1 this September.
I want to go back and listen to that uh, uh, podcast episode. I can't remember which podcast it was at the moment, but Paul Kaminsky was on it and alluding to the greatness that is the new Legion book that's coming. And this was months ago that I listened to this.
Yeah.
And after I read that first issue, I kind of want to go back and listen to that and see if there was anything that Mr. Kaminsky may have let slip, or what he is saying about it is actually evident in the work.
Okay.
What else? Is there anything else?
I I
I
think
think
that's
that's
it.
it, right?
Yeah. I mean, We
Okay,
just did
so
almost an hour and a half. Again, we did an hour and a half on a press release.
that's right.
Plus,
So now we started with how are we feeling about it? And we were like up and down, up and down, up and down. How are you feeling now? Same?
no, I feel better about it. You know, like putting all those pieces together and the potential.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just really cautious because of just the whole Bendis Sook thing was, so mishandled.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to go back. I'm pretty sure I was cautious back then too. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
feel I feel I'm less cautious with this. I'm more excited because uh of like to collect a Legion book is fun. Like I want to collect a Legion book. I'm already thinking like, yeah, I'll get the variants on DCBS, but I'll get the main cover at Golden Eagle so I can read it as soon as it comes out. Um, but I, I just the biggest question I have is what happens to the Legion that we know. That's what I need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And the story may win me over, right? I might read this whole new thing. It's a new thing. I might read it and it's like fantastic, like it's great. And it'll win me over to read it. I don't think it will never supplant the older stuff. That's the hill. That's the hill that they know they can't beat. So instead, let's focus on new readers.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a good business decision
Sure.
for DC Comics.
Right. Right.
And I don't like I may have said this before but in a different way. I don't feel the need for them to have to give me what I want out of this new Legion. But like you just said, I just want it to be good. I want a Legion that I'm excited to read every month as well. And if they can deliver on that, then I'm fine. Like I said, like you were saying at the beginning there, I'm okay if the past is just gone now and it's a new thing. So just give me a damn good story with great art and vision,
Yeah.
and I'm with you.
Yeah. Because it has to be kind of like the absolute Batman, the absolute universe. Like if it starts to feel like they're just retreading
Mm-hmm.
old stories, which is hard to do because, as you said, there's almost a 70-year history, But that's what happened with the 0 Hour reboot after a while. Um,
Yeah, don't retell those old stories in your way. Just
yeah,
tell us stories.
new stories, new
New
plots,
stories,
new
exactly.
new threads. Find new ways to make these characters appealing and interesting. They're not, like I said, they're never gonna replace what I love. Um, yeah, there's just, and that's not even an old comic reader, thing, because even back in 1994 when I was only reading comics for 12 years, which I guess maybe is a long time, but when the 0 Hour reboot, I was like, nope, not mine. Nope. Every Titans book after Perez and Wolfman on Titans has always been compared to that. Even the second volume, even New Titans, like it, a lot of those issues were like, nope. And Marv Wolfman was writing it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Perez eventually came back. And then we got Tom Grumman. And I was like, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is not just an old thing. I love the Legion that I love. 5 years later, Baxter run, that era of Legion is the Legion I love.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else gets compared to it, no matter how great it is. I would say the Kitson Wade version came the closest to feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, until we got the John's Gary Frank version back. And then I was like, ah, my
Yeah, but
baby.
but that was just retreading the
No, it
old.
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Oh.
No, come on. Lightning Saga, that was new. The Earthman
Uh,
stuff, that was new.
no.
That was cool. It was different.
Uh, yes. If
Yeah.
if you like if you like your what's the opposite of dystopia? Utopian science fiction future to be um dark and twisted and dirty? No, no, thank you.
Yeah. That's what made 5 years later so great. I
Well,
liked,
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Legion of Three Worlds, like As long as the main original group is there, I'm happy. So they're
Mm,
not going to be here, and I'm so you're going to have to fight to win me over. But again, I'm not the target. We're not the target. We're really not.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. They cannot continue. I mean, Marvel. This goes for Marvel too. They really cannot continue to just. And this is not a new thought at all, but to cater to 40, 50, 60-year olds. Eventually, we're all going to die out, and you're not going to have an audience
yeah, yeah.
anymore.
And this very much feels like they're taking the next level stuff, mashing in a little bit of absolute universe feel approach,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's good. Okay. All right. Wow. That was almost an hour and a half, a little more than an hour
Yeah.
and a half like I said. So this is good. This is good also because this will hold listeners over because we may not record for a while in the summer, right? Um, so this will be a good way to you get one new surprise episode, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of like doing these real quick reaction type things. I'm not saying we should do that all the time, but
no,
it requires very little homework on my part. And so, the decision for us to get together and do this was very quickly established, and it only took time because I was away from home for most of the day. So,
well, what we have to do, we have to do an experiment. One of the issues in the future that we have to do, we just have to read it and just start recording
mm.
and see what
Oh,
happens
instead,
instead of doing, homework.
you don't want that from me. I'm not good unprepared.
Uh,
I'm like Batman in that way. I have to be prepared to do a good job. So
well, all right. So if they want to reach you in terms of reactions, where can they reach you?
send me email, please, if you will, to longboxreview@gmail.com. And Peter, how can they contact you?
Peter at thedailyrios.com. Let us know if you're excited. Let us
Or
know,
what you're excited about?
yeah, what you're excited. If you're excited, if you're not excited, let us know what you thought of our
Yep.
reactions.
Yeah. We're just two old men screaming into the void. So, I would actually really, if we have some younger listeners out there, I don't know how old they are, but I would love to hear from somebody who's, even like new to DC Comics since the Absolute stuff came out. So, what do you think about this kind of stuff? What's your fondness for the Legion? Which Legion? How does this make you feel? Yeah, all that stuff.
They may not have one.
Yeah,
It's been
exactly.
so off the board for so long, they may be like, I don't even know what this is. This looks cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this has been the 19th Tales of the Legion Project podcast. Thank you for letting us scream into your ears for the last hour and 45 or whatever it is. Any other final thoughts?
Yes, Peter. Long live the Legion.
Long live all the legions.
Ah, there we go. Good one.
All right, y'all. See ya.
Bye bye.